About 9 years ago, I came to a conference at the Movenpick in JBR. JBR's changed quite a bit since then. And a guy approached me who was the CMO of a big bank that I'm sure most of you will be familiar with. They operate in the region. And he was a bit anxious. He said, you know what, we need to retain relevance. I understand that building brand experiences is one way to do that, but there are all the parts of the puzzle. I don't know how to put these parts of the puzzle together, and I feel like I've been given a jigsaw that I haven't got the big picture. So he knew brand experiences helped retain relevance, but he didn't know where to start. Some months after that, senior executive from an airline in Singapore gave us a call, and they said, we're struggling to compete with disruptors in our market. We're a traditional brand. We're struggling to retain relevance. We've had a comfortable position, but I feel as if I know the route forward is through building experiences. I feel as if I know we need to go across this bridge, but it's just missed. I can't see how to go forward. So there's a theme recurring here. Last week, an automotive brand based in the UK gave us a call. And the head of brands mentions, I feel as if I'm sailing a ship. I know I need to take a course, but I don't know how to get on that course. I know that we need to compete through experiences because we can't compete purely on price. But I don't know how to do it. I don't know where to start. So a common theme has inspired my business over the past decade. Senior executives increasingly understand that they need to compete through experiences, brand experiences, but they don't know where to start and how to structure and then lead brand experience initiatives with confidence and conviction. So today, what I want to try and do is share a practical approach to building brand experiences as a route to retaining relevance. We did discuss sharing a case study, but what I'll try to do is provide various examples as we go through so you can relate to the ideas. These are just some of the companies that we talk to and help in relation to retaining relevance through brand experiences. Historically, we were approached by services businesses, banks, insurance, airlines. But what we're finding is even companies that make physical goods know that they need to differentiate through experiences because competing through product and price commoditizes their offer. So what do I want to achieve in the time that I've got? Firstly, I want to distinguish brand experience from customer experience. They're brothers and sisters, but they're different. And by building brand experiences, that's the route to retaining relevance. I want to outline how you can build brand experiences in 3 simple steps. So I'm going to share a practical framework, a blueprint, a tool that we use with clients to help them go about building brand experiences with greater confidence and conviction. And I want to share some illustrative examples to bring the ideas to life. So lots of people talk about customer experience and brand experience. The 2 terms are used interchangeably, but this is more than semantics. So with customer experience, as the name implies, it's for customers, end users, clients, B2B, B2C on the perspective. Brand experience is for stakeholders. Your business needs to interact and engage with suppliers, channel partners, communities, local government, investors. All these people have a stake in your brand. So brand experiences embraces that broader, holistic mentality. Customer experiences, they're only part of the picture. Brand experiences, it's the whole picture. You are taking a 360 perspective on the world that your brand engages with. Focusing purely on customers is short-sighted, naive, and myopic. With customer experience, people are engaging with the experience itself. With brand experience, People are engaging with the experience via the brand. And that's powerful because brands operate in the emotional space and humans' decisions are primarily driven by emotions. Customer experience tends to be quite campaign-driven, quite tactical. Brand experience, longer-term picture. With the exception of a handful of notable examples, brands take time to build. If you look at the world's most valuable brands, for the most part, with the exception of tech, they take years, decades to build. With the measurement for customer experience, it's purely customer. Brand experience looks at brand, employee, and financial, so that you measure the causal relationships. Brand and employee drive financial metrics. So I just want to be clear that we're talking about the right-hand side of the column here. Brand experiences are more sophisticated, they cut deeper, they're more holistic than customer experience. So building brand experiences, I don't want you to be these senior executives that feel as if you've been given a jigsaw puzzle with all the parts, but no picture. I don't want you to feel as if you know you need to go on a journey, but you don't know how to get there because you can't see the route ahead. And I most certainly don't want you to feel like the captain of ship that doesn't know how to set its course. So when it comes to building brand experiences, I want to demystify the process and outline 3 simple steps that will enable you to deliver experiences with greater confidence and conviction. So this is a tool that we've developed over the past 15 years, and we use it extensively with clients, audit, analytics, training, education, strategy, the whole piece. The first point that I'd like to mention is that when it comes to measuring brand experiences, you need to look at employee, brand, and financial metrics. Brand and employee metrics are powerful because they provide a crystal ball into the future. Financial metrics tend to be short-term and they're historical. Brand and employee metrics are powerful. They're causal indicators. They provide a portal into future performance. So then if we get to the detail of how to build brand experiences in 3 steps, the first part that I want to look at is what we term the brand experience environment. And that's made up of 4 elements. So the first one is about understanding stakeholders, not just customers, profiling them, understanding them as an individual, understanding the jobs they want to get done. What do they want to achieve? What problems are they trying to solve? For the most part, asking customers what they want or what they need is a useless question because a lot of the time they don't know. But they do know what jobs they're trying to solve. They do know what problems they're trying to solve. To think about how you can engage with customers via your brand and to manage your expectations. Collectively, that will give you a deeper understanding of your stakeholders. To build brand experiences, you need to fine-tune your perspective. So this is about embracing transparency. There's nowhere to hide these days. Big brands get found out. You need to adopt a holistic mindset. That means that building brand experiences is everyone's job. Not just the CEO, the concierge, whoever it is. Everyone's job to build brand experiences. Competing on value, not price. Thinking about having patience so you're not rushing the brand building process. And accepting that when it comes to positioning your brand, you are not in control. Marketers lost control of how their brands are perceived a long time ago with the advent of social media. The best you can do, as Christian was talking about, create content, engage in conversations, and try and exercise an element of control through that engagement. Then you need to think about the mechanics of delivery. What's the emotional connection? Humans' decisions are driven by the emotions we feel. How does your brand connect at an emotional level with your customer? If it doesn't, you're not playing the tune that the brain will dance to. So people won't even think of your brand when they're making a decision. How do you co-create and deliver omni-channel experiences? Customers expect to be able to enjoy your brand when, where, and how they want. The baseline is omni-channel. Finally, there's adopting a data-driven approach. So using robust insights. Here I'm not talking about bar charts or pie charts. I'm talking about the use of advanced statistical models that reduce the risk associated with brand. People call it behavioral economics, data science, brand science. All these things are the application of advanced statistical models to marketing and branding. And to measure holistically employee, brand, and financial metrics. So in this environment, these are the factors that you need to be thinking about when it comes to be building the brand that will be enabled through your experiences. A quick question. And the quickest person gets a copy of my book. I thought you were putting your hand up and I hadn't asked the question. Yeah, I was going to say, that's good. What were the 4 things that I just talked about? The 4 elements. Stakeholders. Data. Okay. Lady in the middle, because I gave you a hard time. I'll give you the book after, okay? So we've covered that environment. This is the context that brands are built within. These are the factors that drive brand building. The next thing is to actually think about the brand itself. So you've got these key terms that quite honestly are overused, misunderstood, and abused within the branding space. Values, essence, promise, positioning, personality. These are intangible brand assets that you need to define, develop, and deliver in the context of these 4 areas. If you can define, develop, and deliver these 5 areas in the context of the brand experience environment, you're on the route to building more relevant brand experiences. We see this time and time again with clients. So to provide you with some examples, the first part was understanding stakeholders, and an element within that was profiling your stakeholders. So how confident are we that our values resonate with stakeholders? So if you're a healthcare brand and one of your values is to be attentive, how relevant is that to your stakeholders? And I'm not just talking about people lying in a hospital bed. I'm talking about investors, local community, people in your supply chain. How do you help stakeholders get jobs done? So if you're a luggage brand and one of your values is to be sophisticated, how does that help me? Does it help me to demonstrate my wealth, my status, my ego? The fact that I've landed, literally, in an airport? Is being sophisticated relevant to stakeholders? Then to think about how you can engage with stakeholders via your values in this example. So if you're a media brand, a possible value is to be receptive, so that you're open to new ideas and that you will interact and engage with conversations. To manage stakeholder expectations, do you overpromise and underdeliver? A fatal marketing mistake that a lot of brands make. So if you're a bank, a retail bank, and you have a value of being responsive, can you deliver that value across all those touch points to your customers and other stakeholders? If you can't, you're setting yourself up for a fall. And the process continues. We go on to fine-tuning your perspective, data, etc. So the point is, when it comes to thinking about these core brand assets, values, essence, promise, positioning, personality, they need to be defined in the context of these 4 areas. If they're not, you're in danger of building experiences on the back of your brand that aren't relevant. The final part is how you bring your brand to life. So you've defined a brand in the context of this environment, so your brand itself should be relevant, but all those things that I've just spoken about are intangible. Values, essence, promise, they're all intangible, so you need to make it tangible so I can get a grip on them. And there are 4 key tools: design, communications, and behavior. So with design, you're looking at multisensory, using all of the senses. So if your brand is fun, how are you using music? How are you using service design to build customer experiences, the customer journey, so it's fun? So the brand is flushed out through the way in which you use design. The behavioral part of branding, so it was a great question the gentleman asked earlier about engaging other departments. And I think Christian was spot on. You have to talk in the language of other people. Because we deal with a lot of services brands, a lot of the work we do is with people in HR. When we first meet them, they don't think brand experience is part of their job. Nothing could be further from the truth. They need to recruit, train, induct, reward, appraise, even build employer brands that express the brand itself, the values, the essence, the promise, the positioning. I could engage with some communications, think that your brand is understated, and that appeals to me. Then I pick up the phone, speak to someone, they're rude, arrogant, got an ego. That's not understated. The whole brand experience falls apart. So marketing and HR need to be friends. The other element is about communications. So great brands are built from within. Express your values internally. Think about social media. The content, the conversations that you have need to be on brand. They need to express your values, personality, positioning, which themselves have been defined in this context. The language you use, mobile, is mobile relevant to you? If so, which channels fit with your brand? Using stories or even gamification to engage people. The problem is that with things like social, digital, and gamification, CMOs become like a kid in a candy store. They've got all these new toys that they can do something with. If it doesn't help express your brand, don't do it. If it does, do it. But most people go for everything, and that dilutes the focus of their brand. So what I wanted to do today was achieve three things. I wanted to distinguish brand experience from customer experience. They're like brothers and sisters, but they are independent. Brand experience cuts deeper because you are connecting with customers via experiences through your brand. That's powerful because it's the emotional connection through the brand that engages people. Brand experiences deal with a larger number of people, stakeholders. Customers are just part of the puzzle these days. I wanted you to understand how to build brand experiences in 3 simple steps. Think of that context, think of how you build brands within that context, and then express your brand using design, communications, behavior. So I want to try and demystify the brand experience building process because it can frequently become very complicated. It can become overwhelming, and CMOs just sink. This tool we've used time and time again, and it works. And as we've gone through, I've tried to share some illustrative examples to bring these ideas to life. So that's it for now.